I'm Jason Klom, and this is the Comedy on Vinyl podcast. The year is I hit my mic right off. That is a record. The year is 1956. The album is Laff of the Party, Volume 2. The artist, Red Foxx, and my guest is Jim Hanna. Jim Hanna, thank you for being here.
Jason, thank you for having me. Hello, hello. Hi, everybody.
We've known here. Fuck me. What is wrong with me
You're
today?
off to a roaring
It's
start.
so hot. There's all these
hot.
fumes.
There's paint fumes or glaze fumes.
Yeah, boy, oh boy. So I've known you for a while,
drunk.
Jim.
Yes.
I knew you through a good buddy, friend of the show, Matt Sachs.
Hello, Matt.
Matt has done the show once from Minnesota. We talked, of course, about an album about the vice presidency. So,
Sure.
I was not expecting you to pick a Red Foxx album, and I'm curious why you picked Red Foxx.
I will say, I assume you understand, you've done so many of these, the sort of limitations that start to happen when the same albums get picked over and over. And I say, hey, how about this one? Like, well, we've only done it 17 times, but we could do it again if you'd like. And I go, no. I want to get one that's brand new for the heck of it. One, because I would like to hear somebody I've never heard before or paid much attention to. And also, I just think it'll be more interesting for whoever's listening. And I remember scrolling through your list of albums, and suddenly I saw a Red Foxx. I was like, I think in all my years I've never heard a Red Foxx stand-up, either seen one or heard one. All I knew was, as a kid, I loved him. I'm a child of the 70s. I was a very young man when his show first started, his sitcom, Sanford and Son. And then, but I heard the rumors that he had a very dirty stand-up act, a nightclub act, and it was very filthy. And even, I guess back then, I'd heard the rumblings, but still had never listened to it. There was a slightly personal thing for it. I can't say I'm a huge, ginormous Red Foxx fan. Again, I think I was 5 when his TV show came on, and this is when there were 7 channels in our house.
Sure. Got
cable. It expanded to 13, but there weren't that many. Every night, my dad sat down. He decided what we were watching for the night, and he loved Sanford and Son.
Okay.
And my dad is a Midwestern dad in the 70s, not overtly racist, but just kind of had a tinge of it, that he grew up with in the 40s with it. Yeah. So he wouldn't be cruel or vicious about it, but he would make racist jokes and kind of say things that today I would go, oh, that's not cool at all. And so it always struck me as a little ironic that he still loved Red Foxx so much.
Sure.
His bias or whatever prejudice he was working with did not keep him from laughing at Red Foxx. And so I lost my dad relatively young when I was a teenager, so just to think back, like, what used to make Dad wet his pants laughing? It's like, it was Sanford and Son, it was Red Foxx.
Yeah.
So I guess part of that is why I jumped in to explore that part of it. It was a dad thing.
Yeah.
Anyways.
I don't think until last year I had even tried to listen to that same experience, although I barely even know Sanford and Son, but I always knew the rumors.
Right.
Same thing. It's just like, I knew one joke, which was supposedly I'd shut you up permanently, but my zipper's stuck. And I'm like, I'll find that album someday. But the weird thing is, so we play this one, and as I explained to you, I bought what I thought was Volume 2, or Volume 1, and I got Volume 2 in the sleeve.
Or it was the other way around, I think.
Yes, you're right. Correct. So anybody who, I might have said the wrong one at the beginning, so my apologies. But yes, so I thought I was buying Volume 2, but I actually bought Volume 1, which is great. I don't know which color cover art, but the cover art is delightful, done by Red Foxx himself. Really kind of very childlike. The drawing,
and not to be too cruel, but a little cheap. It's just like I said, hey, Red, we need cover art by tomorrow. Oh, here, real quick, just sketched it out and turned it in.
There's something about these that I adore, and it's also, the funniest thing is just what you're used to is the gravelly voiced Red Foxx who's saying, this is the big one. Exactly.
It's the big one.
And he just sounds like a kid on here by comparison.
Okay, guys, what's going on? It's me, Red Foxx. Well, what is this, 1956?
Yeah.
Definitely early on, I guess. I not knowing a lot of his history, I looked a little bit into it. I still don't know a lot, like where this comes, when he went from just performing, because he had a comedy act with a partner for the longest time, apparently, Slappy White, maybe?
Oh, Slappy White, okay, that makes sense.
And I don't know how early in his actual just stand-up career this was.
Yeah.
But it certainly sounds like it's relatively new.
It sounds really new in that it's like Especially since I think that's at least 3 different places on this one
absolutely.
album. Especially in the first part of the second half is like, there are 2 people in the room?
Yeah, well, actually, I would say there's maybe 5, but
Okay.
2 of them are loving it.
Yeah.
There's these 2 people. I can't even tell if it's a man or a man and a woman, but they just like do not stop laughing for the entire bit, that 5-minute bit, whatever it was. I don't even remember. So I'm guessing he just did a little nightclub appearances here and there, and then sort of strung them all together.
Yeah.
And you would obviously know the history of stand-up LPs a lot better than me. Like, this has to be around the time that started happening,
This
right?
is
like,
early. This is before that. Like, that's the thing about Red Fox is it's before, like, Bob Newhart hit it big. It's before Shelley Berman hit it big.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Because there seems to be like a mercenary thing about like, hey, we've got these recordings of him doing stand-up.
Yeah.
Let's just, again, like with the cover art, just slap something together. We'll just pull out 10 5-minute chunks from different places, and we'll put an album out. We'll make all the money. But
That's
I
what
guess
I figure. Yeah. I don't know. It sounds like it's at least 3 different places, a variety of like even quality of jokes. Like,
of course.
But yeah, they do seem so rushed. They're if anybody remembers, it's the Do-Tone label. Eventually, there was the Laff label, spelled the same way as the Laugh of the Party ones, Laff. And I think his later ones are on those, but the Do-Tone label, which was, if I'm not mistaken, there's also Do-To, Do. There's so many different like variations on these like small record companies. I'm trying to remember. I think yes, okay. Do-Tone was a local like LA record company.
And that's volume 1 here.
Yeah. Well, I'm assuming it's the same.
Because you're looking at the volume.
Here's
2
the
cover.
thing, though. It does literally on here say Authentic Records. That could be the name of the company that makes the records itself, because it does say novelties. No, but it's the no.
But think about it. You got the
wrong.
wrong cover. Whoever ended up selling
Yeah.
you that took that album could have been released by Authentic. What is that?
Yeah, Authentic Records. So,
Many
you know
years
what?
later, and
That's
then just
why.
stuck in the wrong.
Here we go. I'm an idiot. I'm not an idiot, but I'm an idiot. You'll see it's the same exact logo as the Do-Tone, and it's called Do-Tone Authentic High
Got
Fidelity Records. So there we go. It's the same company, but eventually they were called Do-Tone. So there's a fascinating half-cludged history for you. Holy shit.
Can I apologize now? I will tell you something right off the bat.
Tell me.
That happened that was interesting. So we've been trying to set this up for a little while.
Uh-huh.
I think when we left high school, we were first tried to make this happen. Anyway, you had finally once I picked this album, and then you sent me an album. Actually, I just said I'll do Red Fox, and I think you sent me what was ostensibly Volume 1, and then we still couldn't make this work, so I didn't listen to it for the longest time.
Yeah.
And then finally, earlier this spring, I got the digital files from you to just listen to it. I was like, I sat down and I started writing out my notes. Like, oh, that's interesting. Oh, okay, that's funny. Wrote down some favorite jokes and stuff. And then we still couldn't get this arranged for a couple months. So when this recording session was finally set, I said, hey, let me listen to it one more time. You sent it to me again. I don't know if you sent me 2 different ones, or if I ended up maybe going to YouTube and finding a recording of it. But I actually listened first to that one you have there. I'm sorry, it's Laugh Your Ass Off.
You listened. Oh, okay.
So I didn't hear Volume 1 until this morning.
Holy shit.
So I was listening to it going like, just to refresh my
Doesn't
memory
sound
for
familiar
it's
at all.
Like, that's not a joke.
Holy shit.
Did I forget that? So my initial observations were all about Laugh Your Ass Off, which is kind of the same year, I believe.
Let's see. It's a good question. It could be. These. I mean, you can also see, by the way, on the back of that, they're all the same.
See, they
damn
just
cover.
cranked out a bunch of these. That's what made me think it was just, we've got these archives of so many stand-up shows. Let's just dump out 1 billion albums. Because what's on the back of there? 20 different albums?
Yeah.
All with
we
the
got
same...
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 16 on the back of this one, and I'm pretty sure these are a little bit later than these ones. And again, I could be wrong. I mean, I'm gonna have to look at his discogs, because I know there's like in my head I want to say he made like 70.
I wrote 1956 down in my original notes on Laugh, and then what I then found out was Laugh Your Ass Off. Then this morning I listened and took a whole new round of notes, thinking I was just going to refresh my memory. Like, I better take some more, put down some more thoughts here. They are very similarly themed. It does seem he starts getting a little more edgy in Laugh Your Ass Off.
Okay.
Well, he's got ass in the title of the album. He's definitely kind of, I'm going to push this a little bit more. And yeah, just some interesting. I guess the point is that when he eventually got the Filthy label was not these albums.
It does not feel like it could. They're like a little, like they're cheeky at
yes,
most.
they are.
Yeah.
And they couldn't have been played on TV, that's for sure.
Sure.
But I was expecting it was like, in the 50s, was he just raunchy as hell? I mean, it was a little, as you said, it was cheeky.
Yeah.
He would use a play on words that implied sex, but really wasn't sex. And I guess in my other hunting around, I was like, well, when did he start becoming this legendary foul-mouthed stand-up? And I just saw a clip on YouTube of a 1976, and it's from an album literally called "Wash Your Ass."
Somebody's wanted to talk about that one actually.
And so he did a little. I saw this like 5-minute clip. He was doing a promo of it on stage at some place like, "This is my album, Wash Your Ass," and then he did the Wash Your Ass bit.
Okay.
And definitely a lot filthier. And also, I feel like Wash Your Ass is a comedy bit that I've heard a lot in the last 20 years. And it's interesting to think that Red Fox was the grandfather of the gentleman Wash Your Ass line of comedy. So,
have you ever, and I apologize for not knowing this because I know you're an actor, have you ever done stand-up?
I did a little bit in college.
Okay.
So I'm from a college town in Nebraska, Lincoln. It's a good sized city, and then thriving bar and music scene there, and there was a stand up place, and I did it for about a year, my last year there, and I got actually okay at it, at least for that little market. But it was always a little bit of pulling teeth. It wasn't a natural skill I had.
Okay.
I had to really kind of really think hard and really work too hard, and I didn't have a natural affinity for it the way I feel like I do with performing, with acting. And then I came to Los Angeles, just full of like bright-eyed, I'm going to take on the world. And I would do things like I did open mics at a Ramada in Chatsworth every Sunday for a few months.
Holy shit.
And then the one time I got super like, this is going to be the story I tell on, well, at the time it would have been Carson. That's how long I've been out here. This is the story I'll tell on Carson one day. So I go to the Comedy Store. They have an open mic night on Saturday nights in the belly room upstairs.
Okay, yeah.
And I just kind of, I'm going to go, and this is going to be my break, and I might have to do it several times, but I'll work my way up. And I got there, and it was this jam-packed room, and there were clearly open mic people who'd been doing this for 2 years, and they were like, you sign up, but it's not first come, first served. It's, you're the new guy, you'll be going on at the very end.
Oh, okay.
So I had one of those hard luck, sad new to LA stories. It was 2 a.m., everybody was gone. The bar was closed. The host and the cocktail waitress were still there. And I remember thinking, I'm not going to let this deter me. I'm going to do it. And maybe I'll make such an impression on the host. She'll say, that kid stuck around till 2 a.m. Anyway, it was a disaster. I did my set, my 5 best minutes. And I thought, I'm not going to do this again. Next week, I might be second from last at 155.
Yeah.
So my heart wasn't in it. There's just a different skill set and a different motivation that other people clearly have much better than I do. So I didn't really stick with it.
But you were prepared for this to be your hard luck story that you were going to tell.
Oh, yeah. I thought, now that I've been playing Harrah's in Vegas for 7 years, Johnny, let me tell you how it all got started. It's kind of what I thought at the time, driving home all sad at 2:30 in the morning. I'm now like, my stand-up career is going to happen, though. Anyway, so...
Do you know, now I'm curious, do you know any of the other sort of Nebraska folks that are out? There's a contingency of Nebraska comedy folks out here.
Well, it depends what, because I've been out here all 27 years. So there were the people that I went to school with, because I stayed in my hometown to go to college. So that was University of Nebraska. And that comedy scene, for what it was worth, I was in. I knew some of the folks that went on to then come out here. I don't know. And then I would see over the years, I go, oh, these are the kids who were 10 years behind me, now 20 years behind me. Are you thinking of anybody in particular? Because there's 2 names I know of that had some success and then sort of transitioned to other things.
Hit me with it.
Mark Gross was, he was a little before my time in Lincoln, was kind of a bit of a, I was just starting to do it there when he was about to leave. And then he went on tour, and then he eventually... got hooked up with a comedian. I'm going to forget his name, but he He ended up doing a sitcom called Rodney. So his name is Rodney something Carrington.
Okay. Oh, that sounds right. Yeah, that sounds right.
I'm going to feel really bad if that's
okay.
wrong.
Yeah.
And Mark was, I believe, the producer on that, and then he's gone on to produce a bunch of other sitcoms and stuff. So he's done real well.
Yeah.
And a guy named Craig Anton.
I know that name. I 100%.
He ended up being mostly known as an actor.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was on Mad TV for a while.
Okay.
And then he would pop up on a bunch of different TV shows and commercials and stuff. So, any other Nebraska comedic legends I'm not aware of off the top of my head?
Well, I mean, other than Johnny Carson.
Well, Johnny Carson, of course.
There are a couple. You know what? And there are times when I also confuse. There's also a contingency of contingent of Iowa folks that are also a giant group, like the Higgins boys and Gruber, that I sometimes in my brain I then say, oh, they're Nebraska. No, they're not Nebraska folks. There's another group of Nebraska people, and now I've lost every name that I thought.
Well, and look, I assume it's with a lot of the states in the union that come to New York or Los Angeles, or you know, that you find your people, and there is a pretty thriving little Nebraska subculture of the entertainment industry in general.
Yeah.
And you start knowing, this is for people who haven't busted out and become huge stars. They're just, you're kind of grinding away, you're networking when you first get here.
Sure.
There's an organization called the Nebraska Coast Connection that meets once a month, and they have networking things, and they bring in their special guest hosts. Like, you know, this Christmas party this year was Alexander Payne is a very notorious, not notorious, very famous Nebraskan these days, and we got a screening of his last movie, Downsizing.
Oh, awesome.
Party.
Okay.
So Alexander Payne will show up and chat for a while and show his movie. So.
That's not so bad.
Yeah.
What I get is the upstate New York version, and but you know the weird thing is my town had about 1,200 people in it. There is somebody else from my hometown out here in L.A.
That you knew then? Or?
Yeah, 100%. I went to elementary school with her. It's very weird to me.
An enemy? Hopefully
no,
not. Okay,
no.
good.
She was not one of the people who picked on me. It's nice. She's not the kid who tried to set my hair on fire. She was one of the good ones.
I don't know, the bullies that I had a few bullies that my high school they dropped off, but I had a lot in middle school. I was just a weird little runty kid, and I tell you, it's bizarre. Look, I have a career as an actor that just I get by. I'm doing fine. I'm making a living at it, and after a while, it's very gratifying. But I'm not a star by any stretch.
Right.
But if you're my bully stay in Lincoln, Nebraska, and you stayed home, and you're working at, well, never mind. I'm not going to be insulting about it. But if you are there and you suddenly see the kid you picked on and called Fathead No Neck all through junior high,
My God.
in a commercial,
Yep.
that's like, oh my gosh.
Of course.
It's a different world. When I was growing up there, being on TV seemed like an impossible world. I just didn't
like going
know
to
that.
space.
Yeah. People in Lincoln, Nebraska don't do that as far as I know. And I think that for the bullies that have since have hit me up on Facebook, like, Jim, you're so funny. It's so great to see you, man. Hey, man, when you're back in town, we should hang out. Like, Hageman. Oh, shoot, I should have just said his name. I doubt he's listening. But, like,
cut it out
seriously, you tried to beat me up every day after school for an entire year. And now you want to be my buddy on Facebook because you saw me in a Home Depot commercial. Anyway.
I will say the one thing I've got about the people back home is they keep it real. I don't think any of them have said, hey, we should meet up. But then again, nobody's seen me on TV. So that could be...
What about the woman from your hometown, though? Are you know her? You run into her?
I have not run into her, but online I'm like, wait, what the fuck? She's in Los Angeles. Like, I really did, like, probably swear. I'm like, what the fuck? Somebody else is out here?
Like your same age even?
Yeah, oh yeah, same
wow.
class. It's shocking because, like, and the village I lived in, in the town is 200 people.
Yeah, how big could your class have been?
30-some, maybe at the most.
Wait, aren't you almost obliged then to get together for coffee?
We should. I've been thinking about it lately. I have been thinking about it. Like, and she's a really good photographer, and like.
Were you friends back then, or
no?
Were you all, yeah.
No, I had no friends. I had one friend.
That's just
I can't say no friends. I had Dan, who's my
right.
best friend. But yeah, I didn't really have
That's
friends.
interesting because you feel like we weren't friends then, but we're both here now, and we guess we should probably meet up.
Yeah.
Just because.
Yeah, we probably should. Yeah, I feel like an idiot now. Yeah, all right. Well, Ann Margaret, we'll figure it out. Well, not Ann. I did not go to school with Ann Margaret.
Now that would have been something.
That would have been fantastic. But this Ann Margaret is an awesome photographer, and yeah, all right.
And working out here.
We'll do lunch. That'll happen. So let's go back a little bit. So what kind of? All right, so we've already established that your dad's a racist. I'm kidding. We're not doing that. We're not saying that.
Well, put it this way: he would tell racist jokes and not look around the room first. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
You know,
No, I grew up around that stuff too. I get it. Was there comedy in the house? Like, were there comedy albums or other comedy?
My dad actually was hilarious. And let me point out, by the way, if I told an off-color, inappropriate, or bigoted racist joke, I'd have gotten chewed out. He would. I couldn't do them. He could, and even then they weren't that bad. We weren't like literally. Might be surprising. 70s in Nebraska, the N word completely forbidden.
Sure,
you could not use that word, which seems a little ahead of its time. I think
it's a weird gray area that is hard to exactly explain. But I know what you're talking about.
And again, if I had told any of the jokes he was telling, he would have probably swatted me. So. But he was ridiculously funny. I thought anyway. I think a lot of people think their dads are funny, but he had that sort of reputation otherwise. He was a bit of a drinker, so he'd go out and he'd hold court, and everyone around him just found him the most funny, charming. He was a goof, and so when you're just a little boy and your dad's being a goof, doing something around, just funny faces, farting and then going like, oh, did you see that? An elephant just ran by. I mean, just dumb jokes, but they killed us. Yeah. So, a very funny guy, yeah.
Did you have albums growing up, or was it just TV?
Okay, so another one that I considered early on when you were asking me to pick an album, the only albums I listened to as a kid were albums my dad had. Again, perhaps sort of contraindicating his potential racism, is that he had stacks of Bill Cosby albums.
Sure.
And listened to them all the time, and I loved them so much. I thought they were so damn funny.
Of course.
And I actually, even before the controversy with Cosby happened, about maybe 10 years ago, we were at someone's house, and somebody had a Bill Cosby album. And I convinced this group of friends, like, oh, you guys have never heard Bill Cosby? Oh, you have to hear it. So we sat down, we put it on, and everyone's just sitting around and like, oh, this isn't nearly as funny as I remember when I was. It's certainly not appropriate to stop the party, make everyone sit down and listen to the Bill Cosby album. But yeah, he had a big stack of those, and I listened to them all the time. I loved them. It's just bizarre how that particular chain of history is played out, where sort of a comedy hero of mine when I was a kid. And again, the only LPs I really listened to. I know Steve Martin was a big deal in like 76, so I'm just 9 years old or whatever. And I never had it, just I had friends who had it.
Sure.
And I would occasionally hear it at their house. We were not swimming in cash, so I couldn't like, hey, Dad, I want to go buy the Steve Martin album.
Sure.
I think he got the Bill Cosby ones from his dad, so we weren't buying a lot of comedy albums.
Was there any live comedy that you could go see? Was there any live comedy where you were?
There, by the time I was in college, there was.
Right.
That's sort of the late 80s, early 90s. The comedy club boom did hit Lincoln, Nebraska.
Required.
Yeah, I was busy performing at like a college bar that had, bands like Nirvana before they, just like a year before they busted out, played the same stage at this little dive bar.
Jesus Christ.
Where Monday night was comedy night.
Oh my God.
And so I did comedy there. I think there must have been touring comics because, bizarrely enough, I wrote for the college newspaper, the Daily Nebraskan, and I got an interview with Jerry Seinfeld because he was coming to town.
Holy shit.
And I think he played a place called the Royal Grove, which was just this kind of divey out by the airport bar.
That's crazy.
What would that have been? Like 89? He must have been
because that's when the show hit. Yeah, 89 is the show.
Was definitely before his. Was it before his TV show?
Maybe right before.
Yeah, I think even at the time I was like, why is Jerry Seinfeld coming here? And when he's coming here, he's playing the Royal Grove. He's not even like at the university or playing one of the nicer bars downtown.
That's funny.
Then there became, oh gosh, the little boom happened when there was like Ha Ha Hut and Yuck Yucks.
Sure.
I can't remember the names of them right now. And now my mom still lives there, so I go back, and they're all gone now.
Okay.
But for about 10 years, there was that little bump in the traditional comedy club,
Does this interview exist anywhere? Because I want to read it.
Oh, great question.
I really.
Here's the thing. What's fascinating is I know I recorded it.
Oh fuck!
I bet it's nowhere. I bet I lost it years ago and didn't even think about it. I do remember thinking. Now, as I get older, looking back on it, I must have really been annoying because I was so interested talking to Jerry Seinfeld that I think I kept him on the phone over an hour. And he was just like, I'm going to give a quick blurb to the college newspaper that played this crap hole bar in Lincoln, Nebraska. I called him at home. I know that. And he picked up, and I'm sure he was just like, yeah, I can't wait to play Lincoln. Here, blah, blah, blah. Okay, thanks, kid. See ya. I kept him on the phone for an hour.
That's amazing.
And then a few years, many years later, so I guess about 5 years ago, he was doing a Super Bowl spot that he was the star of. And I'm mostly a commercial actor, and I got a callback to this job that I knew Jerry Seinfeld was going to be in. And I thought, wow, wouldn't it be cool to get this? And I could mention, hey, I'm the annoying guy who... and then I got the call back. There's only 5 of us there. I go into the room, and I'm in the room with Jerry Seinfeld. And I'm thinking, do I dare? Do I really like, hey, just so you know, we've met before. I tell you. It actually ended up being totally inappropriate. I couldn't have done that, so I didn't. And then I didn't get the job, and so I never got to have my
damn it
Jerry Seinfeld memory moment with him. So
I wonder, like, how quickly the dead-eyed stare would hit. Because you know what I mean? Like, the man has been interviewed so many times, but then there's always the hope is like, maybe he does, though.
But if he did, it'd be for the wrong reasons.
Well, maybe.
Like, are you that asshole from a tiny college newspaper who kept me on the phone for over an hour? I remember you now.
Oh, that's so good, though. I mean, I don't know, the balls to, like, sit there for an hour with him and do that the whole time.
And I just thought, he's loving this. I'm asking great questions.
Sure.
He thinks I'm interesting. And I think I'll never remember exactly what it was. I asked him something about a comedian who I'd just seen on Letterman the night before, or 2 nights before, who made a joke about him. And I was like, so what's it like when such and such says such? And it's like, I just remember he was done with me by then. He was so uninterested. He's like, I didn't hear it. I don't even know what you're talking about. Okay, I gotta go.
Holy
so
crap.
anyway.
Oh, that's so good. That's a delight. So, all right, let's talk about this album a little bit more, because again, I really enjoy listening to it, even if I'm not laughing that hard at much of it. It's kind of refreshing to hear a guy who seems to be trying stuff out, but so confidently. He doesn't sound like he's stumbling, even when he's making a joke that doesn't sound worded that well.
and some of them are works in progress. I think, like he starts a joke, and then he did this one. So he likes plays on words a lot, and sometimes he gets dirty with them. I will tell you, it's funny that I listened to that one album first, the wrong one, and then there is one bit that repeats, and it's the commercial for Fugg soap.
I thought so. Okay, yeah.
F-U-G-G. And it's so dumb, really. It's such a play on words, but yet completely filthy, I'm assuming, by the standards of the day.
Yeah.
Because he's like, ladies, I want to tell you about Fugg soap, and you want to. If something gets filthy, how did he phrase it? You should fug it. Make sure if you bring that home, or if you're, I think he even did like if you're bend over, and if your rear end is, you can fug it. And then
bend over and look in your can.
There you go. Then he had to do a little bit about washing your garbage can. It's like, is your can dirty? Well, then you should fug it. And it's so dumb, and yet I'm sure outrageous at the time. If the wrong crowd had been hearing that, he would run out of town on a rail.
Yeah.
But then he did one.
I'm trying to pull up because I think Fugg is also in the name of at least one of his albums, if not a series of them. I feel like I've seen that.
Then he does one, though, an experiment, and then ends up, I assume an experiment that I can't imagine. He's like, I've got this new shampoo, and then this new product is shampoo. It gets rid of the sham but keeps the poo. It made no sense.
I was trying so hard to wait, Red, what are you trying to say here?
Well, all right. I wonder if maybe he was drinking a little on some of these sets.
Maybe. God, here's the problem. So on Discogs.com, they're so comprehensive, it sometimes actually gets a little muddled. I know I've seen Fugg in the name of one of his album titles, but I'm not seeing it here. But there are just so many.
Considering he must have done about 50 or 60 albums in this, I'm sure one of them does have Fugg in it.
It's got to. And for the record, if anybody's curious, Volume 1 is a red cover, like an actual red tinted cover. Other ones are weird variations like that. Again, really half-assed because there's 20 of them with the same cover. I'm trying to figure it out. Well, either way, yes. So that is the standout bit, which I think I've heard on. I've got 3 albums of his, and I have heard it on at least 2 of them. I'm sure he repeats it again because it became a thing.
Well, that's the only way I knew. I was probably now listening to the wrong album this morning, or had listened to the wrong album because I'm like, I don't recognize this. And then all of a sudden, but I have heard that bit before. That. Then I actually did Google and I saw the track list on both albums. And at the end of Laugh Your Ass Off is the Fugg bit, and then someplace on Laugh at the Party Volume 1, it's in there again. And most of the time, I don't think I ever laughed just ha 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 out loud at any of it. A lot of it was like either confusing or that's an unfinished thought, or oh, that's a pretty interesting funny bit. And some of them are so well prepared, because he does the one about the horse races. And the one is called the three horses are. I think it's the last bit on the album. Where did I write that? One horse is called Your Dick or something like that. He's riding your dick, and but that piece was really clearly like written out and practiced, because it was very a lot of wordplay, very fast, and it wasn't just him rambling. He'd spent some time on that bit.
Right. There's one bit. Is it on? It's really hard to tell by these titles, because he's honestly, you can call that a 6-minute and 35-second track about sneezes. It's about a million different things.
There's one I think called Politicians I saw, and when was he ever talking about politicians?
There's one bit he does where he's talking about plugging, which is a thing that you do. You plug if you're an entertainer. He talks about a couple pieces that he plugged in New York, and the thing's like, I got where he's going, but the lady in the audience like laughs her ass off because she knows where he's going.
The piece I did was then the women's names.
Yes.
There was a piece named Laura. And there was a piece named Marjorie.
And you knew where he was going. He didn't even have to make that bit, but like he soldiered on, even though that lady loved that joke before he finished it. And
that was the night there were 5 people in the house and 2 were laughing. I think there was one just in because I actually, since I knew I had to catch up on Volume 1, because that's what we were talking about today. I listened to it twice today, and I do know that like the one time I genuinely laughed out loud, when it was like just a really sort of well-crafted joke, not outrageously funny, but it just hit my funny bone the right way, and I don't think I'll be able to quite do it justice. So let me check my notes.
Certainly,
here, Jason.
Sure.
It's about a drunk who gets in the cab, and the drunk guy says to the cab driver, "Take me to the Oasis." And the cab driver says, and he looks out his window, like, we were already in front of the Oasis. So I said, you're already at the Oasis. And the drunk says, well, next time don't drive so fast. And like, just so dumb. And yet, I just thought a really well-crafted, at least
I thought
to
so
me,
too.
a well-crafted joke. I laughed out loud at that one.
Yeah, no, I sat and thought about it. I'm like, yep, no, that was the all good word choice, all well told. Where, again, like I said, the other ones are like, I know where you're going, and I know the joke you're trying. I've been at that stage. It's just so weird and raw to listen to. And I love that these are party albums, because this seems like a weird thing to sit and listen to, but maybe that's the shit that stands out, is the dirty, the sort of cheeky stuff.
I guess in '56 that could have been quite the shocking thing to break out. I mean, I don't know if I mean, party albums, that's a thing, that's a category, right?
It was a thing that, like, because you would put it down and play it at a party. Like listen to this naughty thing. Yeah, exactly. Cosby, but Red Fox was absolutely the original of that. And then there's people like Rusty Warren on my wall there, who became like a later version of that, but a woman, and very dirty, not filthy.
Up, I see her album cover
she's
right
great.
there.
She's a
That's
delight.
funny.
Every one of her albums, it's so like, you think he repeats stuff. She repeats stuff, but it's like it's gradual, like what disappears and what becomes new. I've listened to like all
from different albums.
Yeah. So if you listen like album to album, and she's done like 16 or 17 of them, and I've listened to almost all of them, it's like I've heard that bit before, but they're all good. They're all fun. She also sings, so if Red Fox was trying to sing, I don't know if it would go over as well.
No, he's doing poems at one point. And that was they weren't terribly funny. So yeah, like it's the question would be like, would you recommend someone listen to it? And I would think I mean, just for the sort of novelty and the history of it, like. This is what the beginning of the album comedy thing, it sounds like, you know?
Yeah.
Is it actually funny? There are times there is like definitely some jokes I had, and there are times when you can appreciate the comedy without even laughing. You're just like, okay, I see what he's doing there. It's a well-crafted joke. Then he'll say something completely random, stupid, like, we got a TV. We got a wide, we got an 8-inch TV. And this is the 50s, of course, so it's a big deal. Then we got a 17-inch TV. But then my son has a 22-inch head, and he sits in front of me, basically implying like I can't watch TV because my son has a 22-inch head. And then went on to say like my wife was gonna have a baby, and she said, "What do you want, a little brother or a little sister?" He's like, "I'd like a pony." And she's like, "Well, that'll tear your mother up." And so So dumb. Yeah. Anyway.
But it's a delight. I apologize, by the way, for people at home. This is going to be one of our noisier episodes because, again, we're airing this place out. Our tub is being glazed,
yes.
folks, just so everybody knows, in case you wanted a little peek behind the curtain there.
It's quite fumy here today.
Yeah, it really is. We're high. We're incredibly high. You know what's so funny is you answered the question I asked towards the end, and I agree. I always ask at the end of the episode, would you recommend listening to this?
Oh, I see. Okay.
And so it's good. No, I'm glad you already nailed
it
down. No, it's good. And I would 100% agree because at least in terms of history, I love so much that this started a trend, and it's again this rough. You know, that it starts a trend, and it's just like kind of okay.
And it's definitely all over the map. I mean, this is not. He's going to start. An hour-long set and start here, which transitions to this, these are just random, just chunks pulled out of different sets. And in fact, all right, so I don't remember Laugh Your Ass Off that well because it's been 2 months since I heard it. But I just, for curiosity's sake, these are the notes I wrote down. To remind myself to talk to you because we were going to first do this 2 months ago.
Yes.
I wrote Ben Franklin queer. He called Ben Franklin a queer at some point. I'm not sure why. God. He talked about cigarettes causing cancer in 1956, which was interesting. I mean, I thought that was a huge controversy at the time, is that we didn't know in the 50s that cigarettes. He was freely talking about, just a thought I had. Then I don't know. None of these are all that interesting. He has a rape joke with Confucius in it. I don't know why. He's got, he got Fug Your Can. Oh, and then this ended up being on the new one. Another one of those dumb play on words where he talked about a Russian guy named Snatch Your Tits Off.
Yes.
And he's like, and his brother, you can snatch your tits off, and Ivan snatch your... Anyway. I've got a bunch of... most of these aren't actually interesting. Shot in the canal zone. I think that must have been like a vagina joke, maybe? Because he was... Even though he was filthy, he had to be very careful, it still seems to me. He couldn't just come right out and say... the P word, or he would say, "Hey, ladies, your canal zone," or "Bend over and let me look at your can, and then I'll fug you in the can." So
it's interesting, like the lines he had to walk when somebody like Lenny Bruce, because he was white, could be like, "Well, I'm going to say fuck on stage," and then I'm going to get in trouble for it, but I'm going to stand up for it.
Because he doesn't say the F word, does he?
No, at least not this early. I wonder, like he borderline, but maybe it's also because nobody's paying attention to black clubs. Also, like that's another thing.
Well, then that makes it. I just had a stray thought, which is there's not a lot of racial humor on it either. It's not like he does a lot of like, I'm in a club with mostly black patrons, so let me talk about white people for a second. He doesn't do that.
100% universal, I think. Universal and very silly, but like somebody like Lenny Bruce could take advantage of the fact that he could push the envelope more if he wanted.
At least with that audience there, maybe
for
not
sure.
With the local authorities.
Exactly right. I had a guest on the show once whose mother used to either rep or publicize Lenny Bruce, and at one point had to bail him out, and stopped working for Lenny Bruce that night because he said the word shit in front of her son.
And that was a deal breaker.
That was it.
Holy cow. Bring her to the future, let her watch a half an hour of Def Comedy Jam.
Yeah, right. Oh my God.
Stroke.
Have you listened to, because this is not something everybody does, I have to recognize that. Have you listened to other comedy albums since you were like doing stand-up or trying to do stand-up? Like, is it a thing for you?
No, and I never bought them. I never never had a lot. I would say no, quite honestly. I was not my thing, really. Even like Steve Martin, when he was the hottest thing, I should have been like, "Mom, can I have $6 to go buy the Steve Martin album?"
Right.
And I didn't. I was buying 45s of like Andy Gibb and stuff, like just the most bizarre mid-70s purchases. This is just something I almost feel like it didn't happen. I don't know if we're running short on time.
We're fine.
Way off topic.
We were fine. Yeah, we're good.
That one thing I did listen to from my dad's collection that I'm positive he got from his dad, and I still can't even believe it exists, and they were these 45s. There were comedy 45s that were put out, I think, at least these were, in the sort of late 40s.
Okay.
Or maybe they were actually during the war. I've Googled this a while back to make sure it was real, and I actually heard this as a kid.
Yeah.
But we had a stack of 45s that my dad just had laying around that I know he got from his dad, and there were these little green 45s.
Okay.
Of a singer, I'm going to forget his name. But anyway, he wrote these just, by our standards, ridiculously racist, faux Japanese comedy songs.
Oh my God! What?
One was called Yokohama Mama. And one was called. Oh, I don't know, but basically, so it's clearly a white American guy doing just the most offensive Japanese voice with the the L's for R's and everything.
Sure,
and he
sure,
sang
sure.
a song about meeting this a sharp-looking cookie named Yokohama Mama, and
Sounds familiar.
I actually think I sent them to you once a while back. Like, hey, would you ever want to talk about these? Because they were so. At the time, I'm like 7, listening to them. Like, it's just this catchy little song.
Yeah, of course, of course.
But they were both cute little. You look up Yokohama Mama on your phone there. Seriously, you would be arrested if you played them in public today. They are so. I think.
Is it Harry Carey?
Yes.
And his 6 sake sippers?
Yes.
Holy shit.
Yes, it's crazy. It was an A and a B side. I know one side was Yokohama Mama, and the other one was Yes Sir, That's My Baby.
That song I do recall. That song I do know. Unless is it also?
I was about to do it in a horrible accent he did, and even now I cringe to do it, so I can't do it. But he does it, and it's just completely, Mickey Rooney or was it Mickey? Just offensive Japanese.
Oh my
accent.
God. I'm trying to see. So just a big stack of those, and you think they belong to your grandfather?
Probably, and I'm wondering if the timing of the history works out. Like it was actually during World War II, and so that was part of the.
This one says 53.
Really? So 8 years later, they're still making fun of the Japanese. And just obnoxious, horrible.
Having
ways.
a good time doing it. Oh my. I'm trying to find because I want to see what other ones they released. Not that I'm like psyched to listen to a ton of them, but I am curious.
You should listen to their 45s. They're like 3-minute songs. You should listen to them both. They're just bizarre.
Okay, so the a gentleman named Harry Stewart, who also did a character called Yogi Jorgensen. No idea, but he apparently was a big ethnic.
He was doing, comedy. Well, not LPs, obviously. Comedy 45s.
Yeah.
At the beginning of this whole phenomenon.
That's fascinating. I'm curious, like, in terms of, so when did the stand-up stuff, was there, like, I mean, we're going to talk, so everybody knows, I do a show about news radio, and I have desperately been waiting to get Jim on it, because he got his SAG card from news radio.
My first union
so
job ever.
Don't want to burn it here, but, like, I'm assuming that's not the first thing that was like, oh, good, I'm a working actor now. I'm curious, like, what finally hit for you? Was it a big commercial or something, or was that it? Was it news radio?
Interesting. Well, I tell you this, it's been, it's almost 20 years now, which is bizarre to say. I think it was 98. Oh, that is definitely 20 years ago. What am I saying? No, my life did not change overnight, except that I got in the union, and then maybe my auditions got a little better, because most people, it's hard to get in, at least definitely the time, if you're a non-union guy on a union job. And then since the bulk of my money the last 15 years has been made in commercials, there was a commercial about 5 years later that got a lot of that even I have to admit was a really, really well done commercial. It was just really, really cinematic and very touching, and it sort of, I've never had more feedback for anything in my life, and that was, I'd done maybe 1 or 2 a year, and then in 2003 this one hit and everything exploded. I even was lucky enough once to do just a blink and you'll miss it appearance in a Spielberg movie, War of the Worlds. And I was told by the casting directors, like, because the year before I'd gotten into The Terminal, which was his movie before that, but I got cut out. So the next year he brought me back and for War of the Worlds, and the casting director said, I think Steven saw your AT&T commercial, and that's because he watches TV a lot to try to keep up on who the actors are, and he loved that commercial, so he brought you in. I'm like, holy shit! So that's where things, you never know. Very much the actor philosophy is in a lot of ways, just do everything, because you never know what might turn into something.
For sure. Yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah.
Can I find this AT&T commercial on YouTube? It's got to be out there,
It's not, actually. I found it somewhere and have it bookmarked. I could maybe send you a link if you're just curious.
I really am curious.
I have it somewhere. I think there's a way to rip it, and then I have a YouTube channel with just my commercials on it. But,
I really want to see it.
Yeah, it's just a really touching,
I'm sure I've seen it.
commercial.
I'm sure I saw it when it was out.
Yeah,
but that's phenomenal.
That one, it would be even 2 years later, or 10 years later, people would be like, "Weren't you in that AT&T commercial with the little girl?" I'm like, "Yeah, I was." So,
but I'm assuming though by that time, stand-up's just a distant memory.
For me, like as me performing it, yeah, kind of. Though I will say, things have gotten a little slow lately. The commercial world is definitely changing, and I'm getting a little older, so some of the categories I'm sort of castable in are changing. And for some reason, I've been in my head writing jokes lately. Like, what if I were to do some stand-up? I don't even know what the world's like now. I don't know if there are. I assume they're open mics still. I have a buddy that is also sort of in a rut, and he's like, maybe we should just go do some stand-up just to break the rut.
That'd be phenomenal.
I still don't think I'd be great at it. I maybe have a few jokes that would be great. I don't have a... Anyway, it's just, yes, it's something I've considered to step back into. Because I do love stand-up. Netflix has just been a boon. There are a lot of nights well, look, if I'm out and I've had a few drinks and I come home and I walk the dog and then I sit down, I've got a little, like, hey, let's see what's on Netflix. And I'll watch, John Mulaney, I'd heard about forever, is like, he's the stand-up, and he's the most brilliant. And I wasn't familiar with him, so I watched all three of them. Yeah. And I still kind of go like, well... He's not my favorite stand-up ever, but he is such a good stand-up. Like, if there's a way to separate that in your mind, like maybe not my favorite type of comedy, but he's so good at making a joke, crafting a joke, delivering a joke. I don't know if I'd rush out to see him live myself, but he's really a pro. But then you can also just see this random somebody you've never heard of, and just go, let me give this person a shot. Right. Yeah. And with Netflix, you can watch 5 minutes of it and go, nope, not happening. I'm done. What's good. The next one? So.
Yeah, exactly. Or then you can go back trying to decide on what you want to watch, and then it plays a fucking trailer for it without you asking for it. Thanks, Netflix.
Netflix, you're the best.
Jesus Christ. What was I going to ask you? Son of a bitch, I forgot what I was going to ask you. Oh, no, that was what I was going to ask you about next. So you are on 2 of my favorite sitcoms. So here's the thing. Like, I'm not even a sitcom writer, or I haven't even tried to actively be a sitcom writer, but I now know 2 guys who have been on 3 of my favorite sitcoms of all time. So you're on News Radio and on Parks and Rec. Woo. And it's also a really great scene on Parks. It's a quick scene too, and it's as though you're an established character, which I think is kind of fun.
In fact, they told me at the time this guy might be coming back because I was playing a person in the city government, the City Planning Commission, and they're like, well, he's a guy who can come back. At the time, I think it was for 2 episodes to start. And I started going, well, they're going to be in front of the City Planning Commission more than once. Right. I didn't even get my second episode for whatever reason. I don't think it was because I went in and stuck up the room. Right. But, of course. They changed their minds and move on to different places. But that was I don't know. Are any of them? Obviously, it's these on Sorry. I'm just trying to think if any of them were stand-ups first because they are all such great comedic actors. This was interesting about Parks and Rec. I'll tell you a quick story, which was I was there the day after Obama was reelected in 2012. Literally the morning after. Holy shit. So Amy was just all excited. She was just like on her phone, like, oh my God, Obama. And then she, okay, let's do the scene. And she was all giddy. And anyway, do the scene a few times. I'm trying really hard as a guest actor to not be a pain in the ass. You don't want to come in and like step on toes. Sometimes you're just there to do your job, and don't try to be funny with them because you'll embarrass yourself. And so I'm just doing my shtick and doing my lines and being fine. I don't have any great laugh lines, so I'm trying not to force it. And then they go, okay, let's do a fun run after all of it, and everyone, the regulars around the table, like, okay, fun run, here we go. And I was like, what the fuck? And I said, Amy, excuse me, what's a fun run? Is it what it sounds like? She's like, yep, we're just going to do whatever you want. And they're like, no, they're not going to use any of it. And they just start, they do the exact same scene again, but after the first couple lines, it's just off in a million different directions. So I'm like sitting like, am I allowed to throw something in? I'm not a terrible improver and ad-libber. I could say this, that's kind of funny, but nope, be careful. So I didn't take it full advantage of it. I got a couple of lines in. But that was just, a joy to watch, especially someone like Amy Poehler. She just starts ad-libbing and killing it right in front of you.
She's a master. I don't fucking get it. I'll never understand it. I don't understand her skill level.
Oh, it's another world. But then to play a normal straight scene, like she's not a caricature. She was always the most lovable
I
human
know.
character, you know.
Show is so damn
Yeah.
good. It show's so damn good. And I got so excited. I'm like, holy fuck, that's Jim Hanna. I got like so excited to see you on that show. So I know, and then the other guy I know who's on a show was on Sergeant Bilko. That's how far back.
Holy cow.
Paul Dooley. He's an extra.
Paul Dooley. I do know
Yeah.
Paul Dooley did a show at the Fringe Festival last year. The Hollywood
Yes.
Fringe Festival is a theater festival that you look, I still like to write comedy, and I write funny plays. At least I like to think so. I write little web series and stuff. And I've written a couple plays over the last few years just to go down and have fun with my friends. And so I did one last year, not this year, but last year's Hollywood Fringe Festival. And I remember seeing that Paul Dooley was doing a one-man show about his career, I think.
He's still working on it too, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get to see it, but yeah, he's still out there plugging away.
Filled with a ton of like his commercial appearances and stuff, because same situation. He was doing. I just re-released his stand-up album from 1961, and we talked about it.
Dooley has a stand-up
He had
album? Wow.
nobody knew about it. Like
I
it's
guess
very
not.
yeah, and so we released it digitally. Might do a vinyl if it sells enough, folks. CelerySoundRecords.com. But he did the same situation. He's doing stand-up, trying it out, working it out, and then once commercials hit, he just said, "Fuck it, I don't need to do stand-up again." Commercials were his life. He handed. I was in the background of a podcast yesterday, and he handed me, here's something to leaf through. This is a list of every place I did a commercial for. 33 pages long.
Yeah.
Double spaced. So it was 600, 700, 800. It's insane.
I guess I sort of understand that, in that you were asking earlier about why maybe I didn't stick with stand-up, or maybe I'm asking myself, why didn't I stick with stand-up? Because it is such a skill, a different skill. And I guess I would always tell people at the time who ask about this, like, I can do it, I'm okay at it, but I don't like it that much. Like, I love acting. I will act anywhere and anything, and I think I'm good at it. And I feel challenged by it. And there's never a time I go, oh gosh, I better go act now. I got a job in Parks and Recreation. But sometimes to sit down and maybe write up a stand-up set would be like, well, that's work. That's a chore. I don't have the brain that is constantly writing or able to write jokes. And it's just more effort. And so when I was able to look, if stand-up had taken off and it turned out I had this great facility at it, I would have probably stuck with it. I had a better facility at getting jobs in commercials and TV shows, so I did that. So
right. I'm curious, would you play a stand-up in a movie? No. Because and how do you think that would differ? I'm just curious now, because like playing a stand-up in a movie where they've written a set for you, which, by the way, anybody out there, if you're a screenwriter, write stand-up better in movies, please.
I was just about to say that's the problem, isn't it? Because
it is.
Every time you see a stand-up, like a guy who's supposed to be a stand-up, or like, what was that one with Sally Field and Tom Hanks?
Oh God, I've never seen it, but I know what you're talking about.
Anyway,
yep.
And you watch that, and you're right. I don't know what that is. I guess it's like, to me, if I can make a comparison, that it's sort of like when they're doing a TV show about musicians who have a hit song, and so they write the song, and it becomes a hit in that world, and you're kind of like, well, but that song. You've got sort of second-rate songwriters, I think, on those. Who, if that song was going to be a hit, it would have been a hit in the real world. Yep. And it's not believable. Anyway. Yep. So in a way, stand-up, like if this great stand-up set that somebody's doing in a movie, well, if it's that great, the writer should have saved it for their own stand-up career.
I know.
So I think that it suffers a little. It's sort of like when you don't get the pros to write the hit song in the TV show or the hit stand-up set, if that makes sense.
The only time I've seen it work for the song was That Thing You Do. I think the music in That Thing You Do is really good. And for stand-up, The Marvelous Miss Maisel on
which
Amazon.
I have not seen, but I know what you're talking about.
It's so fucking good.
And
not only is it a really good show, but the stand-up's really, I think, good. I think so. Even like, and she's also supposed to be just starting in comedy, but I think it's good. And then the guy, and I apologize for forgetting his name every time, but the guy who plays Lenny Bruce on this show, holy fuck. It's like Lenny Bruce jumped out of the fucking screen.
Really?
It's ridiculous. It's so good. It's an impression, but he's also acting it.
Is he doing actual Lenny Bruce material?
That's something I'm not sure of, because he's on stage a bit, but he's actually a character on the show.
Sure.
In this fictional universe. Right. But there are bits where he does, which a couple of things I did recognize, like the airplane glue. There are a couple of bits that are definitely his. So I'm assuming all the stuff is stuff that's actually he's done, but this guy's phenomenal.
Now that would be fun. As an actor, that'd be a huge challenge. I don't. There's no way on earth I could play Lenny Bruce.
Right.
But would I like to play? First off, I would like to play anything. I'm an actor who thinks I can do anything.
Yeah.
And then you just start to realize one one of the keys to success in the acting world is to know your limits, to know, like, I will never get cast as that, so don't be disappointed.
Right.
But what I like to play with, I think it would be interesting to be playing a stand-up and then see the script and go, oh, this is actually just terrible stand-up writing, and I gotta sell it, I gotta pitch it.
That's the hard part. By the way, speaking of that show, if you guys are looking to cast a young George Carlin, I'm right here. I will wear a wig. I'm fully aware of my limitations physically, but I'm happy to do it. And then we'll find a part for Jim too.
Can you do a passable impression?
At least a vocal one, yeah. I mean, you
right?
also have to like have the physicality ready. Sure. But I think I learned the 7 words thing I memorized in college. With the goal of like I either have to play him or Jim Henson because I had a beard and long hair at the time. But since then, my Carlin's gotten good.
And you like the actual as an impression has gotten good. Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I think so.
Good for you.
Well, thank you. I've tried. I feel like I've done it on the show once, and then it gets embarrassing. But yeah, which is dumb because I'm supposed to be an actor. You're not supposed to get embarrassed by showing off.
No, I'm already cringing about like, will I even play this podcast back? Because I'm wondering where did I go? What did I say? It's all happening very fast. I think I'm going to be mortified by certain things I may or may not have said.
Right. Well, you didn't actually do the fake Japanese accent,
true.
So we're good.
Well,
we're
I
good.
Did say, yeah.
You demonstrated.
Sharp-looking cookie, he says.
Uh-huh.
He literally says she's a sharp-looking cookie.
Oh my good God, that's so upsetting. Jim, this has been a delight.
It's been I can't believe it took us this long.
I know.
I was stressed that like, will I have anything to say? I still don't know if I did. And also, especially specifically about this album, because it didn't like have some great history with me. We're like, sure. I can't wait to talk about Red Fox.
That's what's hard, yeah.
But it was incredibly fascinating to like find this album I would never have known about or heard about. Yeah. And sort of dive into it. And,
I'm glad you did too, by the way, because it's one of those things where I am the worst note taker in the world, so that's why I bring people on who like, I think this person will have something to say. Like Joseph Scrimshaw is a great dude and a stand-up. He's come on the show 4 or 5 times. And the first time was a regular, I grew up with this album. But then the rest of them was like, no, I'm going to pick one from your thing, and we're going to fucking figure it out from the start. Yeah. And they're great. It's a lot of fun to do.
Well, he's like literally breaking down like the comedy.
He's so good at doing that,
like,
too.
This is why this joke works.
Or doesn't. Because some of the shit we listened to last time, some old-time radio, and it's like, oh, that's real hit and miss. It's real hit and miss, but it's fun.
I am a little fascinated by that, I guess. Not as much as your buddy Joe Scrimshaw, you said? I don't have his skills with it, but I do occasionally like to go, why did that one work? Or that's not even that funny of a saying or a arrangement of words, and yet it did get a laugh. Why? That's always a little interesting.
Yeah, because and that's just thing too, is like we're missing what we would now call memes of the day. Like we might be missing something that made sense within just a brief pocket of time. A saying that is no longer in use.
Maybe that shampoo joke.
I was thinking that
was referencing something big in 1956 that we would not know about. Right?
Exactly. Because it got laughs. It's not like that one did not get laughs. This is not going to come out for a while. Okay, let's say a couple months. But do you have anything to promote, and where can people find you online?
I don't necessarily have anything to promote. Even if I were acting or had a job, I'd like, look for my Lowe's commercial. There's no way to direct people to that. I do have a website, jimhanna.net, but that's mostly just pictures and resume and my credits and stuff, so that casting people can find me. Sure. Sometimes I promote, and because I still like doing this for fun, I make these ridiculous web videos with my cat, and I just made a new one for the first time in probably 2 years the other day, because now I have a dog. They are not any high production or anything. They are just literally me dicking around with a camera and my cat, and they've gotten a little bit of love on it. People seem to like this asshole cat of mine, and so Jeff the Cat, you can always Google and look for Jeff the Cat episodes. I guess I should have thought about this, but I don't think I have a whole lot else, Are you
on Twitter?
I am on Twitter, which also makes me cringe, because Jim Hanna was obviously taken, at Jim Hanna. And then I decided, my Twitter's going to be mostly for my acting stuff. I'm not going to just pontificate about politics. But I need to specify Jim Hanna, And then I just kind of ran out of patience, and I went, I'll just change it later. I put at Jim Hanna actor, and then I'll go back and change it later. And I haven't gotten around to changing it. And now what's a shame I don't notice it until someone tags me in a post like, had a great time hanging out with Jim Hanna, actor. I'm like, oh, I'm one of those guys like has to shoehorn his acting career into everything. But it is, yes, at Jim Hanna, actor.
I'm the idiot who did first initial last name because that's how my emails have always been, without realizing you could have done your full name.
Oh.
Now, I have my full name, but it's for a character that I play, and I can't switch the two around.
So you have at Jason Kaplan?
Yeah,
Jason Kaplan. That's a different person. Jason Clam.
Uh-huh. Yeah, so it's at Jason Clam, but also at J Clam, and then I have some other variations of it. But yeah, the one I'll promote it now. Hi, guys, at Twitter. On Twitter, at J Clam. Actually, follow me on Instagram, though, because I'm actually sort of doing something there at Jason Clam on Instagram. See, this is the problem.
No.
I have issues. But I'm on there, hashtag The Professional Blur, where I talk about my work as an extra for a few years.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's fun. I'm posting dumb pictures of myself, like, right behind, like, you know.
Oh, that's funny.
Tim Roth's head and shit. It's great.
Well, I could come and talk about my background career for a whole other hour. No, I couldn't. I did it one time.
Did once?
And hated it
You
so much.
lucky bastard. You
I
only did
said
once.
I will dig ditches for my day job before I'll do background again.
Oh, it's bad.
It's just really just exhausting and demoralizing
Uh-huh.
and demeaning.
Mhm.
And, but by the way, again, some people are well suited to it.
Sure.
Because I've been on a set with somebody who's a background person, like, I do this 5 days a week and I love it.
Yep.
And I think it's just different people are great at different things. And I did not have whatever bizarre collection of demeanor and skills that you have to have for that. I'm not cut out for it. So
I enjoyed it, but at some point it was like, you know, I've seen one guy get a SAG card in 9 years.
Oh, that's
you
why
know
you
what I
were
mean?
doing it?
Like
Yeah.
you hope,
Yeah.
you know, and then like I get bumped up to a regular extra on Mad Men, and then I get a 9 to 5, and I'm like, bye. I can't.
Now,
can't
did that
risk
get you your
this.
card or no?
No,
Still
I've never gotten it. I'm eligible at best at this point. So
Ah.
yeah, I became a regular extra. They cut 3 suits for me. They had all this stuff ready to go, and they kept calling me, hey, you gotta come. I have a job now.
Yeah, and I'd heard about, I mean, obviously when you get here, everyone's like, how do you get into SAG? And I don't even know if it's true as much anymore, but it was the 3 voucher background
That was the thing. That's what they
person.
always told you, yeah. And I
And
had 2 of them.
I don't think I maybe met 1 or 2 people ever. When you asked them, how'd you get into the union? That
Yep.
was the way they did it. I think it's kind of more of a bit of a lie, perhaps.
I saw one guy get bumped up on, what do you call it? I think it was American Dreams, the Dick Clark produced show about his own show from the 50s.
I remember that.
I was on a ton of those, and one guy was in a protest. It was either that or another. No, it was that. In a protest, and like the crazy part is like the guy got a line, right? Because they're in a protest, but he's going to lead the protest. And then like somebody told him, hey man, this is the beginning of everything. I'm telling you right now, that guy doesn't look familiar. Who knows? He could be Chris Evans for all I know at this point.
It probably was Chris
But
Evans.
yeah, right. It probably was. But like, it's one of those things where like this guy was totally pumped up and had his ego stroked the rest of the day. And I'm like, that's cool and all. I hope for him that it worked out, but it's like, come on.
Look, it's such a weird, bizarre, difficult, awesome business.
Yeah.
Because every little victory is immediately met with the next obstacle. You go like, oh, I got in the union. Oh, and now what? Now I can't. And so, I don't know. You take it as it comes and be grateful for what you get. And wait for your pension.
And one day Steven Spielberg sees you in an AT&T
and then
commercial.
never brings you in again.
We'll see. There's time. Well, that's about it. I want to thank you guys for listening. Go to celerysoundrecords.com. You can buy the aforementioned Paul Dooley album, Booked Solid, as an MP3. Again, if we sell enough of them, I will do a vinyl release of it. That is the plan. And then it'll also help, of course, fund the vinyl release of my own comedy album later this year. So if you guys want to hear me put my money where my mouth is, like, please buy it. It's reasonably priced. And Paul Dooley's great, and he's funny. So just go to celerysoundrecords.com. That's about it. Thank you guys for listening. And as always, have a good thing. Comedy on Vinyl is a production of StolenDress Entertainment. It is produced by Mike Worden and is hosted and edited by Jason Clam. Our theme song was composed and performed by Richard Levinson. You can email us at podcast@comedyonvinyl.com. You can also send snail mail to StolenDress Entertainment, P.O. Box 805, Burbank, California, 91503. Subscribe to Comedy on Vinyl on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and anywhere else you can find podcasts. Give us a 5-star rating and write us a review. It helps. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Comedy on Vinyl, or find everything in one place at comedyonvinyl.com. A major portion of Comedy on Vinyl has been underwritten by Stand Up Records. Please visit standuprecords.com for all your comedy needs, and tune in to the new Stand Up Records channel available on the Roku, where you can also find select episodes of this podcast. Visit StolenDress.com to listen to our other podcasts, watch videos, and imbibe freely of our multimedia content going back 15 plus years.